The way that we see Geyser is that we believe that Bitcoin is going to completely change the game of funding, right? Because now funding is permissionless, is global, and it has the power to emancipate people all over the world to raise funds in many different ways. So crowdfunding is sort of the bottom layer of that, and then on top of that, there's all sorts of new funding models that will also emerge. But we think the best way to start is through like crowdfunding and really develop that. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm having a fascinating guest today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Mick, co-founder and CEO of Geyser. And Geyser, we're building a platform for enabling global funding for people to share value across the world, and also really powering the Bitcoin community to raise funds to support and drive Bitcoin adoption.
Fascinating. What motivated you actually to go into this, like basically like NGO or a charity route, where a lot of people who go into crypto or Bitcoin specifically are focused on the like basically the profitable aspect, like they do more profitable businesses. Obviously, maybe you can like your business also is sustainable, but I mean, like, why did you go to to help this like basically have a vision for helping people around the world and all this? Why did you choose this way?
That's a great question. And maybe just to take a step back and just thinking about who are the different types of users on Geyser, you have three different buckets. You have the sort of Bitcoin initiatives. So you have educational initiatives, community, circular economies, communities, many of which do have a nonprofit element. Then you have Bitcoin products. So you have collectible projects launching games, films. You have sort of like hardware wallets launching on Geyser through the community. And then finally, there's actually causes like pure, not Bitcoin related causes, humanitarian aid, and these types of things. So it's so just to give the big picture of like different use cases, in which charity is a really important one, but it's also not the only one, but very important. So the whole kind of thing around Geyser is like, so I do have personally a background in working for nonprofits. I've worked for over, let's say, probably over 2-3 years in the sort of nonprofit charity place, also in different countries, like in Nepal after the earthquake and things like that. And I've learned a lot about that, and also know how like misfunctional and that entire industry is, and how much bloat and waste there is. Like a very, very small percentage of all the money that enters the space actually ends up to the beneficiaries. So that was definitely one important factor. I really didn't see the impact, that was sort of being touted as impact when I was actually working there. And I found impact to be something really, really hard to achieve. In many places, see people building, sanitation facilities, toilets, or roads, and then things just getting abandoned. It's really hard to like actually see the impact, even though the intentions are oftentimes very, very good. And I sort of understood that like the entire problem was top down management approach, where you don't really know like what people need in the first place, and oftentimes it sort of feels a bit like airplane money that kind of goes in and then you leave. It's sustainability is really hard to achieve. And then while I was in these cases, sometimes in like rural Nepal, I would often see people having their smartphones and having sort of using them to live their lives, be able to communicate with people, with their friends and family across the world. And so it clicked for me that actually the key driver of quality of life improvements, as it's always been actually, is technology, is innovation, and that is bottom up, right? That is technology lifting everyone up by empowering through these types of tools. And so that helped me appreciate the value of technology as an empowerment tool for humanity. And then after that, I discovered Bitcoin. And then as a technology of money. So if all technology is deflationary, meaning driving prices down, Bitcoin is driving the prices of everything down. And so Bitcoin could be used as a tool, as a sort of an NGO for the world, meaning as a tool for lifting people out of poverty, out of the sort of the craziness of like inflationary money that is like driving humanity into poverty more and more.
You're using like Lightning heavily. I think when you started, Geyser, maybe Lightning was not as efficient as it now, or not like as developed as it is now.
Right.
What gave you the vision to start off like using Lightning in the platform?
Right. Great question. We started using Lightning and running a node in the early days of the Lightning space, like in 20, 2020, and realizing that it's how we bring Bitcoin to the world. The problem of Bitcoin scalability was really important for me because, I saw the potential of Bitcoin, but I didn't see how it could scale to the world. And Lightning for me solved it. And then I was thinking, well, we don't have a tool for enabling for crowdfunding for creators, for people with ideas to actually launch their ideas and receive them with Lightning. And so I thought, any tool that would want to enable would want to be used by people all over the world, well, that would have to integrate and leverage Lightning. So that's how how Geyser was born on Lightning, because we believe that is, and in the long term, it turns out to be a really good bet. Not only most transactions are done on Lightning, but also the most volume is done on Lightning at the moment.
How about for the community itself, like for the fundraisers and also for the people who are donating to campaigns or buying products? Like, are they mostly within the Bitcoin community, or they are attracted to Geyser and then they learn about Bitcoin from the platform itself?
That's a really good question. At the moment, most of our users are Bitcoiners. It's the Bitcoin community itself that knows about Bitcoin and then want to use Bitcoin as a tool for fundraising and for funding. And I think maybe a smaller percentage, like less than 10%, are people that, looking for crowdfunding and then discover Bitcoin. So, and my hope is that more and more we were able to leverage more and more of these people who don't know about Bitcoin, and then they discover it through Geyser. That's sort of my hope.
How about for the integration of Geyser? Like, what kind of platforms or other partners do you have like within the ecosystem of Bitcoin, like that leverage to scale or like to accept maybe some form of payments or some other ways?
Yeah, great question. We're using Voltage on the backend to power our cloud node, and that helps to, basically enable payments to go through to the project creators. And then, what else? Pretty much that, we're running as a small lean team, and a lot of software runs on the cloud at the moment. We want to try to find more ways to go sovereign and be more self-reliant from that perspective. But that's pretty much it. We're using some tools from Ambos as well. But yeah, some of the sort of infrastructure tools that are available are really important.
Would you say that maybe the infrastructure is the majority of the work you do, like in Geyser, or like is there any other more aspect that's time consuming or like consumes most of your attention in running the company?
There's some operational work, like making sure that projects are legitimate and that there's no spamming or scamming happening. But most of the work is spent on product development, making sure that we just improve the platform, improve the user experience, and keep building tools creators want, and then also on just growth and marketing, and making sure that not only do we have a great product and users, but that we can reach more and more people that can learn about the power of Geyser.
This episode is sponsored by DegreeSign.
CoinExams platform was purpose-built by DegreeSign to be one of the best-performing platforms in the crypto space.
DegreeSign is an agency developing web products with a long experience of building products from scratch for maximum performance and stability.
Start today. Just email make@degreesign.com.
How about the company culture? How's it like working in Geyser?
It's a small team. We're 3 people, right? And actually,
Wow.
we launched Geyser as 3 people, and then we scaled up a bit, and then we decided it was important for us to try to remain as lean as possible. So we went back to the original team of 3. So it's great, it's very dynamic. Everyone's very much self motivated. It's very flat. Yeah, everyone has a say, and everyone can change anything about Geyser. Everyone gets to, try to keep it as open and as a sort of empowering place as possible. I think, it's amazing how much the team has also grown and has, taken over entire areas of the product. I now work a lot less on the product side now. Like the team is really good at developing that, and I'm focusing more on the marketing side. So yeah, it's an amazing thing. It's like waking up every day and being able to say that I work for Bitcoin is, a dream, an absolute dream. So I'm really humbled and thankful for the Bitcoin community for for this opportunity that I have, and working tirelessly to make sure that it's a success, and that not just Geyser's a success, but also like this movement of grassroots Bitcoin creators that want to see Bitcoin flourish as essentially global money, as a monetary freedom for the world. Sort of what Geyser is founded upon.
Yeah, I feel like Geyser, like different maybe from some other companies, even companies in the Bitcoin space, like what differentiates it is maybe I feel like it's very close to the community. So what is the main channels that you receive feedback from? Is it Twitter or you have or X, or do you have some other channels?
Yeah, good question. So we're mostly on Twitter because that's where most of the Bitcoin community is, but we are also sort of slowly discovering and expanding into TikTok, Instagram. We're also on Nostr, although we should probably use it more. It's a powerful tool. It's an important tool, and it's also growing quite a bit. We're also trying to go, try to expand beyond the Bitcoin community as well, but also keeping our tie and our ties to Bitcoin. We still see ourselves as a Bitcoin platform, as a Bitcoin brand. Kind of it.
What is your vision for the Geyser like in the future? Do you have any specific plans?
Right. So we're looking forward. Geyser, the way that we see Geyser is that we believe that Bitcoin is going to completely change the game of funding, right? Because now funding is permissionless, is global, and it has the power to emancipate people all over the world to raise funds in many different ways. So crowdfunding is sort of the bottom layer of that, and then on top of that, there's all sorts of new funding models that will also emerge. But we think the best way to start is through like crowdfunding and really develop that. And in terms of like a more concrete vision of Geyser, we're talking about funding, and funding can take different forms. One is direct donations, peer-to-peer, from person A to person B. That's kind of what we're already doing. The other form of donations are what could be called all or nothing. So sending money to a project or a cause that needs to reach a goal for the funds to actually get there. If the funds don't get to that goal, the funds go back to the senders. So that's what we're working on right now. And
very fascinating, especially for products. Like if someone needs like a capital investment for the malls or for a physical, this would be very, very amazing.
Exactly. It's great for products, for new product launches, for prototypes, where you have this initial high capital investment need. So we're working on this right now. You're one of the first person to hear about it. So I'm really excited for this to launch and to see how Bitcoin can even further, empower through open finance. Really, that's kind of what it is. So I'm really excited about that and see how people will use it. We're gonna be leveraged. It'll still be non-custodial, so we'll be using smart contracts on rootstock to make this feasible. I'm really excited about it.
Fascinating, but this must be very challenging because it's like still a growing space. It's not as established maybe as Lightning or some other aspects of Bitcoin. So how about like the growth potential geographically speaking? Do you see growth from like specific regions that have more potential than others?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think it's very much connected to the growth and potential of Bitcoin per se. So we're seeing most funding goes towards South America, South and Central America. It's pretty obvious in the data. And then you have, I think it's Europe, North America, Asia, Africa. So it's really much directly connected to the growth of Bitcoin around South America that we're seeing there, and also the lack of alternatives in South America, and
Inflation.
inflation as well, and just like the lack of these types of tools, which oftentimes crowdfunding remains quite regionalized, and also the growth of Bitcoin itself. Right, there's so much happening in South America, especially at the moment. So I think there's a lot of activity there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, and it was really nice talking to you, and like a good comprehensive overview. And good luck to you, and hopefully all the best.
Thank you so much, Azan. Appreciate it, and happy to talk anytime.
Thank you. Bye.